Hey there, it's John from Excel Campus, and in this video I'm going to explain how to create conditionally formatted icons. So this is the fifth video in a series where I'm explaining how to create this interactive report and dashboard. And this was originally a submission for the Excel hash competition. Now if you saw that original video, you might remember that we had Michael Scott, our boss, requesting some improvements to the quarterly reports.
And the same thing goes for quarterly reports. They are unreadable. They're just numbers and boring and blah. So what I was thinking is that maybe we should have some sort of graphic, like if we have a bad quarter, put in a storm cloud, and when we have a good quarter, fireworks.
So here are our storm cloud and firework on the dashboard. And as I've shown in the previous videos, when you select from the drop down here, select a different department, that will show a different list of employees, their total hours, and then their average hours over here. And you can also see that we now have the firework light up here and its color, and the storm cloud is now just grayed out because this represents a good quarter, or in this case, a good attendance week. So in this video, we're going to look at how to create these conditionally formatted icons. So the first thing we're going to do is go over to the Shapes sheet, and I'll explain how we created the conditionally formatted icons. And it's a bit of a setup process here. So what I have first is an icon, and then I have that set on top of a white rectangle. So let's add both of those. So we'll go to the Insert tab, and we'll choose Illustrations, and then Icons. And here we can actually search for the icons right up here. You can search. So I search firework. You can see you have a few different options. I chose this one here. Insert that. You can also insert multiple shapes here too. So you might also want to look for the storm cloud, or storm cloud. I used this one here, so I click that as well. You can see there's a little 2 here on the insert button, so that tells us we're going to insert 2 shapes. Go ahead and click Insert. We'll insert both of those. I can just move those over here for now. I also just filled these cells with a blue background just so you can see how we make this transparent. But the first thing we can do with both of those selected is change the fill color. So we have the graphics fill color here on the graphics format tab. Graphics fill, we want to change that to a very light gray, just the lightest gray possible, and I'll explain why. So there they are, light gray, and then we can kind of separate those as well. Next we have just a white rectangle. So I'll go ahead and go to the Insert tab, Illustrations, Shapes, and just this square rectangle shape. And here I'll just draw it around this so it defaults to blue. We want to change the shape fill to white, shape outline to no outline, and then we can send it backwards. So right click, send to back. That'll put our icon on top of it. You can actually select the icon, put that on top of it. Might want to then select the white rectangle, make it a little smaller so it just fits nicely on top of the icon shape. Then we're going to select both of those. So I have the white rectangle selected. We're going to hold the Control key on the keyboard and select the icon. You can see both of the shapes are now selected. I'm going to right click, group those. We're just going to group those together. Then what we're going to do is copy and paste this as a picture. So I'm going to hit Control C, or actually you can right click, copy, so you can see it there. Then right click and choose paste options as a picture. So this takes that grouped shape, that grouped icon and the white rectangular background, and just makes it one shape. So they're kind of all flattened together, just one shape. Then what we're going to do, and I'll move that over here, over this blue background so you can see it. With that selected, we're going to go to the picture format, and here under color we have an option for set transparent color. And when we click this, this changes the mouse icon, and you can actually then select that light gray color. Now the reason I chose a light gray color is because if this is a darker color, when you set transparent, it might still leave some artifacts there. Some of the pixels don't necessarily get set to be transparent, and then it just looks ugly. So as long as you set this to light gray, and then try your best to just select one of the gray areas. There we go, I just clicked it. And you can see what that does is it cuts out that gray, sets that to a transparent color, so then we can see through the icon. So really now the icon shows what's ever behind it, the cell fill color that's behind it. So with that done, what I did now is I put those on top of cells A1 and B1. There's these icons here. The same thing we see here is right here. You just repeat the process for the storm cloud. So same thing there. So I'm just going to move this off so you can see what's happening here. Is here I have this cell that has this fill color, and it's a gradient fill. You don't have to do a gradient fill, it just gives it a kind of cooler effect, I think. And this fill is based on conditional formatting. So what we've done, if we select this cell here, go to conditional formatting, manage rules. Currently we have this set to the current selection, but you can set this to this worksheet to see both of the rules. For this rule here, I'm just going to edit the rule. And this rule just is a formula that says it's just saying the calc sheet cell G3 is greater than or equal to G5. So this would be the average. So if the average is greater than the goal, that's what these numbers are here on the calc sheet. The current average based on the filter, because we're again using those dynamic array formulas to only return the spilled range of filtered results based on the department. So what we're doing here is taking the average, comparing that to the goal. If it's greater than the goal, then that's good, and we're going to apply this conditional formatting. And for the format, on the fill color, I just went under fill effects, and you can choose a gradient here, choose two colors. So I just chose orange and yellow. And from center, of course, you can totally change this. It's a little different for the storm cloud, but that's what that gradient fill looks like. And I'd say use this with caution because it can get ugly really quick, but for our firework icon, it looks kind of cool. Hit OK there and hit OK there. And so since that is based on the current filter, the average is good, we're seeing that here. If not, then that cell just has a light gray fill color. So cell A1 and B1 both just have a light gray fill. So if the rule is not applied, or the condition does not exist for the rule to be applied, then you're just going to see a light gray fill color. So I hit OK here. And I should mention that the same process, same setup is done here for cell A1 for bad. Just the format and the gradient is a little different. So we have a different fill effect, horizontal fill effect with kind of a dark blue and a lighter blue to make it look like a scary storm cloud. So that's what we have there. And I can move the shape off there so you can see it's just a light gray fill. Just select the cell, do a light gray fill. If you want to make it darker, you absolutely can make it darker as well. Just have kind of a light gray fill there. We have the icon on top of that, and then this icon over here for the firework on top of that, something like that there. And you might have to kind of move these. You can use the arrow keys to move these a little bit to make sure they're lined up as you'd like them. So then from there, what we do is select both cells A1 and B1. And since there's icons or shapes on top of those, you can't really select them with the mouse. So I select cell A2. I'm going to hit the up arrow to select cell A1, then hold shift and right arrow to select cell B1. So we have A1 and B1 selected. Now I'm going to hit Control C on the keyboard to copy those cells. Can barely kind of see the marching ants going there, but it's hard to see, but those cells are being copied. Then we'll jump over to the dashboard sheet, and what we can do here is right click under paste special. We're going to choose paste linked picture. So paste linked picture, that's going to paste a linked picture to that range. And you can see that here in the formula bar. So we have, in the formula bar, we're referencing on the shapes sheet A1 to B1. So that's what's being referenced right here, and that's what we're seeing in this picture, this linked picture. It's just linking to the cells and what's ever in those cells or sitting on top of those cells in that range. So that's what we have right here. That's what we're seeing. So if we go back over to the shapes, that's what we have here. I'll select off of that so you can see those. And then what happens on the dashboard, if we change the department, that of course is going to change all of our calculations. And in this case, now the average of this department is bad. So all the calculations drive that conditional formatting. And on the shapes sheet, we would see that this cell A1 is now conditionally formatted with those blue colors. B1 no longer meets the criteria, so we're just seeing the gray color for that, the gray fill color of the cell. for that through the icon, the transparent icon there in that shape, and that is what we're seeing on the dashboard. Now you might be able to see the tiny like horizontal blue line here, and that's actually some fill color behind the icons, fill color of the cell. And if you do see that and it kind of is annoying to you, you can go back over to the shape sheet, select one of these shapes. I'm just going to hit left arrow once to move that shape a bit, go back over to the dashboard, and that cleans it up. Now we don't see that blue line there, that vertical blue line, which is just some of the cell from A1 coming through there. All right, so next we're going to add the text boxes. And again, these are somewhat conditionally formatted, or they only appear based on the department and whether they have a good or bad average. So here we have a text box, and as you can see in the formula bar, this is just linked to a cell on the calc sheet. It's linked to G8 on the calc sheet. So in order to create this, we'll go to the Insert tab, choose Illustrations, Shapes, and then we want a text box, and you can just draw it over here. And then we can select the border of the text box. We don't need to put any text inside of it. We're just going to link it to that cell. So in the formula bar, we'll click into that, type equals, then we'll go over to the calc sheet, and we want to select cell G8, which contains our bad label, so 31.9. So again, I explained that in a previous video, but if the average is bad, if it's below the goal, we're going to display it here, and if not, it's just going to be a blank. So that's how we get kind of this invisible text box look. So we'll just select that, hit enter, and now you can see we have 31.9 in here. Of course, when we go to the shape format, we can remove the outline. You can change the fill color if you like, or I should say the font color to match the storm clouds, maybe something like this. Make it a little bigger. Oops, there we go. Make it a little bigger. I think I had 18 point or maybe 20 point font there. And that's it. So that's that one there. And then you can do the same thing and just link those. So you can copy those. One trick for copying shapes is to left click and hold, and then like you're going to drag it, then hold the control key. And if you hold control and shift, that's also going to keep it in line with the original shape here. Control and shift held down. Release that left mouse button. And now we have this one. And of course, we want to link this instead of cell G8. We want to go over to the calc sheet and reference G7 instead. Hit enter. And so now that's blank. However, if we change it to a department like accounting, which has good, then you can see that that's changed there and now showing the results of G7. We also need to format that. For some reason, the format disappeared there, but we can format that as well and change the color. So now as we flip back and forth, we can see that we get different. Let's go back to a bad one. Now this shape here is being filled, or I should say that text box being filled with the value in G8. And then I did the exact same thing for the average down here just to show those. I'll just move this down a little bit. And then we're going to, instead of G8, we'll go over here on the calc sheet and link that to H8, hit enter, so that'll show average. Again, you got to do that formatting one time. That's kind of a little quirk there. Once you change the reference, it's going to go default back to its original formatting for whatever reason. But then you can line those up, center the text and do all that stuff. Also recreate that one for the bad as well. Just select that, Control Shift over, and then link that back to H7, just like that. And so then again, with our interactivity here, we'll see that now we have both the average and the icon being conditionally formatted as we change the department here in the drop-down menu. Oh, and then I also just have the goal here that's linked to the cell G5 that contains the goal on the calc sheet. So another text box there. That one doesn't change. It'll always show the goal. And you can have another text box with just the name goal in it. So that's how we've set up our dashboard report here and made it interactive with these conditionally formatted icons. Definitely a bit of a workaround or kind of a special solution here to get our icons to be conditionally formatted, but it opens up a lot of possibilities for other ways to use this technique. So if you do have other ideas of how you're going to use this, please leave a comment below with that. I'd love to know, love to learn how else you could possibly use this technique of conditionally formatted icons. And of course, if you have any other questions or suggestions about this dashboard report, feel free to leave a comment below as well. I'd love to hear them. Hopefully you've enjoyed this series and learned some new techniques with a lot of these new features for Office 365. We have the icons, dynamic array functions, use some conditional formatting in there, the XOR function too, which is another relatively new one introduced in Excel 2013. So a lot of new stuff here, XLOOKUP as well, and hopefully you've enjoyed it and learned something new. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.